All right. Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Darkwing Duck. Hmm, that's kind of cool. Thanks for tuning or tubing in on this Nintendo Tuesday. Doing something a little different today. I've been experimenting with the Nintendo Tuesday, something I used to do from time to time, and I feel like it was like a big hashtag. Like you go on different social medias and search for it, you will find Nintendo Tuesday posts. I feel like it was more of a thing, maybe more relevant back when the Wii was out and all of that kind of stuff. But I've been trying to bring it back, even through like TikTok and just different postings with Nintendo games, revisiting the idea of like playing DS and sort of these like physical media games that I kind of grew up with and stuff, and really been wanting to get back, maybe even into collecting some DS titles, and so it's been really interesting over the last couple of weeks. Been just playing with these ideas in my head, even going back and playing some old DS games that I never finished and never completed. It's just been a lot of fun. And what I feel is kind of ironic, again, my life is always filled with irony, is in the midst of all of this, they've got this huge controversy going on right now with Sony and the pause and the hold of, or the stop of physical media games. Uh, Sony has announced that at some point they're going to stop making physical media. It's been announced that GTA 6 will not have a disc in their physical media case. There's no game, and it's got a lot of people outraged. Like, people are freaking out. People are canceling their PlayStation subscriptions, and they're like boycotting and banning, and there's like petitions going. It's pretty crazy. It's really wild. One of the biggest stories that I thought had something more to do with like crowd control and that sort of thing, uh, I was really surprised by, was that stores were not going to be releasing the physical copy. And I was like, what is up with that? Thinking maybe it had something to do with, like I said, like I see when like new shoes come out or a new watch or something comes out, people lose their minds and like storm the stores, and there's like chaos, and you know. So I thought like maybe that's what it was. Like, I don't want like these like people showing up and fighting over the game and what have you, so they're just not going to sell it in stores. And then I found out what it is that some of these stores are not going to carry this game because they require you to have physical content in order to obtain shelf space. So they're refusing to carry the game. And I was like, that is awesome. That's actually really cool. That was like one of those things where I was like, I first saw it, I was like, what is this about? And then when I actually read the details, I was like, I'm kind of behind this like 100%. I like this a lot. And then more and more has just been announced. Like, they're actually announcing like what some of the last games that are going to actually have a disc are going to be, and what those titles are. And that at some point, like I said, Sony's just going to move away from this physical media content. So I'm going back today. I'm playing some old school games to kind of talk about this and put my take on it, because I think it's one of those things where I get it, people, and I understand why some people are upset, but I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't think he was gonna jump down. You can never tell sometimes, like, they'll just like walk back and forth on the platform, and sometimes they'll jump down. I think we are too far gone to really be upset with it at this point. I think the time to have gotten upset over this whole physical media thing would have been eons ago. And to be honest, I don't think that Sony, or really maybe even any company, has put a physical, has put a physical game on a disc in quite some time. And I started like I was actually talking with my friend Buck, and we were going over it one day, and he was saying something about how, like, well, you know, your game is really just like a pass. And I was like, you know, you think so? It's like, you know, it's just a pass key? And he was like, oh yeah. And we started talking about it, and the more we started talking about it, the more it made sense. That there is no content on any of these game discs that we get. I'm gonna take a second here and explain what I mean. Back in the day when you got like Darkwing Duck on Nintendo, right? You got a cartridge, and on that cartridge, this game had all of this stuff on it. You had these levels, there were these sprites, the maps, all of it was, you know, here in the game. And when you rented the game, when you bought the game, it was always there. I don't think, and I would venture to say, I don't think there's been a disc that's been released with a game on it, God, probably in decades. Even like my Spider-Man 4 that I bought on PlayStation 4, I don't think there's really any physical content on that disc when I think about it. And that was like actually the conversation that I think got me and my buddy kind of talking about it, was that like I was really surprised at how I was able to put in my PlayStation 4 Spider-Man into my PlayStation 5. It asked me, do I want to upgrade like $10? And I was like, do I want to upgrade for $10? And I was like, well, yeah, sure, of course. And then he's explaining that, like, well, yeah, so that disc is just a passkey. There's like really nothing on it. And I was like, man, dude, are you sure? And we kind of started talking about this stuff and like some of my games, and like Hogwarts Legacy that I've got on PlayStation 5. I had some of these other games, and as we started going through it and I started thinking about it, I was like, damn, dude, I think you're probably right. And it's like, you know when you buy a movie and it's got the DVD, your Blu-ray, and then it's got like a digital copy, and inside it's just like a piece of paper with like a, you know, a little code on it? That's basically all your game disc is. And I think it's been that way for eons. I don't know when the last time, I can't think of probably like when the last time, maybe Red Dead Redemption or something like that on PlayStation 4 actually probably had like any content on the actual disc, you know? But people are getting like so upset that like they're taking away our physical media. And like I said, I've bought, you know, a few games here pretty recently. I think most of my games over the past, you know, few years have been like more like downloads and that sort of thing. But I do have some like physical PlayStation 5 titles, but I don't think there's any actual information on there. Again, like if you bought a Game Boy game, all of that stuff is on that disc. If you bought a GameCube game, all of the information is on that disc. All the levels, all the characters, all of the pass codes, all the cheats, all the hacks, is all there in the disc. All that information is on that physical disc. I don't think, like I'm looking at like my Hogwarts Legacy, my Guardians of the Galaxy, my Sonic Frontiers, I don't think there's any physical information on those. I think basically what you're buying is a disc that has a number on it, like you would buy like a digital copy of the movie, or have a digital copy of the movie when you buy the, you know, the Blu-ray set or whatever. And so, really, when you think about it, why would PlayStation continue to mass produce, you know, game discs that are nothing but passcodes. Doesn't make any sense. So it's actually, like, from what I understand too, you know, Rockstar doesn't expect to make really any money off of GTA 6. It's one of those things where, like, they're probably just going to wind up breaking even. And so, like, how do you know, save money where you can? And it's one of those things where, like, look, the game is nothing more than a passcode anyway. It's nothing more than a sheet of paper with a number on it. Why are we going to spend the money to make a CD with a number on it? It doesn't make any sense. So that's, I mean, that's your answer right there. Like, it's just, it's a whole, oh, that's cheap. They don't have it up there every time. It's a whole scheme on, like, you know, just saving money. It makes more sense. And I know people want, you know, that physical... I think there's something lost, too. Like, there is something, even in the physical media that we get, it's like, it's so sad. It's one of those things where, you know, can we do better, people? We've got so advanced with our video games. And so, they look so beautiful, and they're so stunning, and they're so, like, detailed and evolved, and, you know, where we've come from this. But the game packaging, back in the day, back when this came out in 1992, was so much better. Even the cardboard boxes that Super Nintendo put out were so much better than the garbage we get today. You would get, like, an instruction booklet, that night we were, like, read it. Fucking not that we'd ever, like, read these instruction booklets or anything like that, but it would come with, like, an instruction booklet. Some of them came with, like, little mini comics, or there might be a comic printed in the instruction booklet, posters, maps, and, like, we don't get any of that now. Like, you get a game and you open it up and it's just a game. There's no booklet, there's no inserts, there's no, like, you know, what happened to all of that? It's just the idea that, like, you know, people are getting upset over losing their physical media. It's like, what are we losing, though? Like, we should have gotten upset. We should have been getting upset back when, like, instruction booklets stopped being included, back when, like, little extra features. Like, nowadays, to get all that stuff, you have to buy physical, like, special edition, you know, $80 to $100 version of the game to get, like, a few little extra things or whatever, and it's just like, oh, that should be, for where we've come in gaming. Oh, jeez, game over. So, like, where we've, like, come in gaming, like, we should be just getting, like, so much, like, you know what I'm saying, like stamps and collector cards, and, you know, if you buy, like, a physical version of whatever GTA, it should come with, like, trading cards and a keychain, and, like, all this cool stuff should come in it. Like, you know, we used to get little, like, in movies, you know, you get necklaces, and I remember, like, the Iron Giant would come with, like, an actual, like, Iron Giant toy that you could play with, and, like, it was, like, posable and everything, and I don't know, man. It's like, nowadays, again, you get, like, a DVD or something, and it's just, you know, unless you spend, like, $100 on a special edition, it's just not worth it. So I understand what people, and I think it's really the principle too. Like, you know, people, I think, are upset over the principle of losing, quote unquote, this physical media. But like I said, I think people, if you're upset over Sony and Rockstar deciding to go this way, you know, I have a solution. I'm not gonna tell you guys, because it's actually a really great idea. I think it's a great way to solve physical media still being utilized, and, like, how do we make it, like, progressive? Because also, it's going to change. It's not going to be the same all the time. You know, we went from, like, what? Well, even, like, not even VHS. We went from, like, what was it, Betamax to, you know, VHS to, you know, we had, like, Laserdisc, and all these different things, and it's always constantly changing. You know, we had like HD DVD for a little while, and Blu-ray, and then now everything's like streaming. There's a lot of streaming services, digital downloads. You can, a movie can come out in the theater, and you can get like a digital copy at your house. And so even nowadays, it's like it's completely changed, and I think you have to evolve and kind of keep up with it. And this is where it's going. What's to say that the PlayStation 6, PlayStation 7 even has a disk drive to begin with? Like, how do you save space for maybe more storage and other features? Just take out a disk drive. We don't need it anymore. We can take games and have them be downloaded digitally, whether it's Darkwing Duck or GTA 6. It doesn't matter what it is. You don't need a disk drive anymore. But I think there is a way to still keep the idea of physical media alive and well. I think there's some solutions. I think there's some answers, and I think it needs to be a part of gaming, because there was something, and this is I think what I go back and I do these retro rewind weekends for, is that physical game, and going to like the video stores and renting them and buying them. There's something special about that. What's going to happen to places like GameStop and these mom and pop game stores that kind of thrive off of physical games? They have their Game Boy sections, and they have their Sega Saturn and all that, but they also have their PlayStation and their PlayStation 2 and their PlayStation 3. What happens when games stop being produced and you can no longer take your games in, and you can no longer trade them, you can no longer let your friends borrow them, you're no longer opening up games on Christmas morning? It's kind of a sad thought. I think a lot of that for me growing up was getting not just a Game Boy, or maybe a Game Boy Light, but also a stack of games on Christmas morning. Maybe a couple of Genesis games. And, what the heck? Maybe a Sega CD game or two or whatever. And I guess I gotta hold on to this guy. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is crazy. But that's my take. Like I said, I think we're a little bit too late to be upset over this whole Sony getting rid of the physical media thing. Like I said, I think that's been a long time coming. And I mean, gosh, we should have been upset when Netflix went to streaming. Over the digital, or it went to like the digital over the physical aspect. Remember, like, Netflix used to be a physical media. You would get them sent to your house, and now it's all digital. And so people are like, oh, well, it's better. But is it? Is it better? Yeah, you get everything like sent right to your house, but now look where we are. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I just wanted to throw this out there, kind of put my take on this whole thing. I love video games. I'm a huge gamer. Always have been since, gosh, really Atari days. I remember my dad having Atari, not being able to play with it, because I was like too little to be like alone and hook it up. But I mean, since the age of Nintendo, I've been right there in it. I still have a ton of old games, from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance to DS and GameCube, and just, I love it all. But, I think this is where we're going. I think getting upset, crying over it, and kicking and screaming and all of that isn't really going to get you anywhere. I think what we need to do is kind of embrace where we're going in the future with gaming, and while we're doing so, look for ways to kind of keep some of those special little gems that we hold dear to our heart alive and well. Like getting games on Christmas morning, trading them with your friends, or just coming over and like showing them like, dude, check out this game, you know, and like actually having it in your hand and showing them like, check this game out, bro. Well, thank you for checking out this video and just kind of hanging out. Always fun to talk to you guys and get to share my opinion. Probably gonna do like a TikTok on this too, just to get some more stuff out there. Maybe even do another YouTube video, but do like a more live in front of the camera take on this as well, and just kind of show what I mean with some of this like passkey and physical copy and some of that other stuff. But anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Hope you have a great Nintendo Tuesday. Share some of your favorite Nintendo memories down in the comment section. While you're doing so, make sure you share, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thanks for hanging out in Rob's Arcade. I will see you guys later. Oh yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. That's important too.